In the year 2450, humanity had traveled far beyond Earth. Space stations, massive ships and colonies were now common. Human beings had joined a galactic alliance with many alien races. Some of these races were friendly, but others were not. Among them were the Cauldrons, a proud and powerful race known for their advanced technology and fierce warriors. On a grand space station called the Council Hub, leaders of different races gathered to discuss the future of the galaxy. The station was filled with bright lights and strange sounds. Large screens showed images of different planets and fleets. The air buzzed with tension as everyone spoke about the upcoming war. At the center of the discussion was a warship called the USS Endeavor. It was humanity's newest ship, designed for combat. However, many alien leaders laughed at it. They believed that the Endeavor was weak and outdated. They thought humanity was foolish to think they could stand against the Cauldrons. Alex, the captain of the Endeavor, watched from the back of the room. He was a tall man with short brown hair and a determined look in his eyes. He had served in the military for many years and had seen battles that would make most people tremble. But today, he felt anger boiling inside him. The aliens did not understand what humanity was capable of. Lena, the ship's chief engineer, stood beside him. She was a young woman with bright red hair, wearing a blue jumpsuit covered in grease from her work. Lena was brilliant, having designed many of the ship's systems. But today she felt the weight of the alien leaders' mockery. They whispered and pointed at her creations as if they were toys. "This is ridiculous," Alex said quietly too. "Lena, they think we're weak because we don't have flashy ships. They don't know what we've built." "I know," Lena replied, crossing her arms. "But we have to show them. The Endeavor has new technology they've never seen. Our weapons are powerful. They just don't believe it yet." As the meeting continued, an alien leader named Thrax stood up. He was large and had green skin, with sharp teeth that glinted in the light. He laughed as he spoke, his voice booming through the hall. "Look at humanity's warship," Thrax said. "It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. We will all fall before the might of the Cauldrons." The other alien leaders joined in the laughter, and Alex felt his fists clench. He wanted to shout back, to show them they were wrong, but he knew that would not help. Instead, he took a deep breath and focused on what was important. After the meeting ended, Alex and Lena walked back to the Endeavor. The ship floated in space, its sleek design glinting under the distant stars. But to Alex and Lena, it was more than just a ship. It was a symbol of humanity's strength and determination. As they boarded, the crew was busy preparing for the upcoming mission. They were a mix of people from different backgrounds, all united by a common goal. Alex greeted them with a nod, feeling a sense of pride in his team. "Listen up, everyone," he called out. "No, the council thinks we're weak, but we have something they don't understand. We have heart and the will to fight. Lena has worked hard to make this ship the best it can be. We will prove ourselves." The crew cheered, their spirits lifted by Alex's words. Lena smiled, feeling encouraged by the support of her team. They all knew the stakes were high, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. In the days that followed, the crew trained hard. They practiced maneuvering the ship, firing weapons, and working together. Lena stayed up late, fine-tuning the ship's systems and making improvements. She knew the Endeavor had capabilities that the aliens could not imagine. One evening, while the crew was taking a break, Alex gathered them in the main deck. He pointed to a large screen showing a simulation of the alien fleet they would face. "Look at this," he said. "The Cauldrons have advanced ships, but they are not invincible. If we work together and stay focused, we can find their weaknesses." Lena stepped forward, her eyes shining with excitement. "We have a new weapon I've been designing. It's not just powerful, it's unique. If we can get close enough, it could turn the tide in our favor." The crew listened intently. They felt a mix of fear and hope. The Cauldrons were known for their ruthlessness, and many of them had lost friends and family in past conflicts. They also knew that if they didn't fight back, they would be lost. Days turned into weeks, and the atmosphere aboard the Endeavor grew tense. The crew worked tirelessly, pushing each other to improve. They shared stories, laughed, and sometimes argued. But through it all, they formed a bond that made them stronger. One night, while the stars twinkled outside, Alex and Lena stood on the bridge looking out at the vastness of space. "Do you think we can really do this?" Lena asked, her voice soft. "I believe in us," Alex replied, looking at her. "We have to believe in ourselves. Council may mock us, but we have something they don't: tower determination. We fight for our people, our families. That's our strength." Lena nodded, feeling a rush of confidence. They would show the galaxy what humanity was capable of. They would prove that they were not weak, no matter what the aliens believed. As the Endeavor prepared to leave the safety of the station, the crew gathered for one last briefing. Alex stood before them, his voice steady and strong. "We are about to face our biggest challenge yet," he said. "But I know we are ready. We will fight with everything we have. Let's show the galaxy that humanity is not to be underestimated." With that, they took their positions, ready to take off into the unknown. The engines roared to life, and the Endeavor surged forward, leaving behind the Council and their mockery. Humanity was ready to fight, and they would not be silenced. Journey ahead would be dangerous, but together, they would face whatever came their way. The stars awaited them, and so did their destiny. The Endeavor floated silently in the dark of space. Its crew was filled with a mix of excitement and nerves. They were on a mission to prove themselves against the powerful Caldron fleet. As they traveled through the stars, the crew followed, their training and prepared for the upcoming battle. In the command center, Lick stood at the front, looking at the displays, showing their route. Lena sat at her station, focused on the ship's systems. She was checking the new weapon she had designed. It was a prototype, and she was eager to see how it would perform in battle. "Everything looks good," Lena said, her fingers flying. "Over the controls, the weapon is charged and ready. All we need is the right moment to use it." Alex nodded, feeling a mix of pride and anxiety. "Let's make sure everyone knows the plan. We need to work together," he called the crew to the command center. They gathered around, their faces serious. Alex could see the determination in their eyes. "Listen up, everyone," he said. "We are heading into Caldron territory. Will be expecting us, and they will not hold back. We need to stay focused and rely on each other." Lena stepped forward. "When we engage the enemy, I will activate the new weapon. It can create a powerful energy blast. If we can get close enough, it could take out one of their ships in one shot." The crew exchanged glances, some nodding in agreement. They knew the risks, but they also knew the potential reward. As the Endeavor continued its journey, the crew kept busy. Practiced drills, ran simulations, and worked on their teamwork. Each member of the crew had a role to play, and they were learning to trust one another. One day, during a training session, they practiced maneuvers to dodge enemy fire. Alex shouted commands, guiding the ship as the crew followed his lead. Lena monitored the ship's systems, ready to make adjustments on the fly. The crew moved like a well-oiled machine, each person contributing to the mission. After the training, Alex gathered everyone once more. "Great job today. I can see our skills improving, but we can't let our guard down. The cauldrons will be ready for us." As they approached the edge of Caldron space, tension filled the ship. The crew could feel the weight of the mission pressing down on them. They were no longer just fighting for themselves. They were fighting for humanity's honor. Lena worked late into the night, making final adjustments to the ship's systems. She was determined to ensure everything was perfect. As she worked, she thought about how far they had come. She remembered the Council's laughter and how they had underestimated humanity. It fueled her desire to succeed. The next morning, Alex called for a final briefing. Crew gathered, looking more serious than ever. "Today is the day," Alex said, his tone firm. "We will enter Caldron space and confront their fleet. Remember our training and trust each other. We are stronger together." As they prepared, Lena felt a mixture of excitement and fear. She knew the risks, but she also believed in their mission. They had trained hard, and now it was time to put their skills to the test. With the crew ready, the Endeavor entered Caldron territory. Stars shimmered around them, but the atmosphere on the ship was tense. Suddenly, a warning alarm blared, and the display flickered to life. A swarm of Caldron ships appeared on the screen. Alert. Incoming enemy fleet. Crew member shouted. Alex quickly took charge. Battle stations. Everyone to your positions. The crew sprang into action, moving with purpose. Alex guided the ship through the enemy fleet, dodging incoming fire. The Caldron ships were fast and aggressive, but the Endeavor was agile. Lena, get the weapon ready, Alex shouted. Almost there, Lena replied, her fingers dancing over the controls. Just a few more seconds. The Cauldrons were relentless, firing their weapons at the Endeavor. The ship shook as blasts hit around them, but the crew held steady. Steady, everyone, Alex called out. Keep your focus, suddenly Lena shouted. The weapon is ready. Just give me the command. Now, Alex yelled. Lena pressed the button, and a bright beam of energy shot from the Endeavor.
Ow!
Ships, causing it to explode in a flash of light. The crew cheered, feeling a surge of hope. Great shot, Alex exclaimed. Let's keep pushing, but the Cauldrons were not finished. They regrouped and launched a counterattack, coming at the Endeavor with a fury. The ship shook again as blasts hit, and the crew worked hard to maintain control. Keep firing, Alex ordered. We need to create an opening. The crew focused on their tasks, firing back at the enemy. Lena monitored the weapon systems, ready to fire again. They needed to break through the enemy lines and find a way to victory. Amid the chaos, Alex spotted an opening. Lena, can you target that ship on the right? It's a command ship. If we take it out, the others might scatter. I'm on it, Lena replied, her heart racing. She adjusted the targeting system and locked onto the command ship, ready to fire. Now, Alex commanded. The energy beam shot out once more, striking the command ship directly. It exploded in a massive fireball, and the remaining Caldron ships hesitated for a moment. Push forward, Alex shouted, seizing the moment. The Endeavor surged ahead, and the crew pressed on, their hearts pounding with adrenaline. They could feel the tide of battle shifting in their favor as they fought. Lena felt a rush of pride. They were no longer seen as weak. They were proving themselves, showing the galaxy what humanity could do. But suddenly, a new threat appeared. A massive Caldron battleship emerged from the shadows, larger than anything they had encountered. Its guns were aimed directly at the Endeavor. Brace for impact, Alex shouted. The crew prepared for what was coming. They had fought hard, but now they faced their biggest challenge yet. The battleship fired, and the Endeavor shook violently. Lena struggled to keep control. We need to get out of here. We can't take another hit like that. Hold steady, Alex yelled. Can't retreat now. We have to fight. With determination, the crew worked together, focusing on their tasks. They dodged incoming fire and returned shots, desperate to find a way to turn the battle in their favor. As the battleship loomed closer, Lena realized they needed a bold move. Alex, if we can get close enough, I can fire the weapon again. It might just be enough. Do it, Alex commanded. Lena adjusted the targeting system once more, her heart racing. They were taking a risk, but it was their only chance. The crew held their breath as they closed the distance. Ready now, Lena shouted. The energy beam shot out again, striking the battleship in a brilliant flash. The ship shuddered, and for a moment, it seemed to falter. Keep firing, don't let up, Alex urged. They pressed on, firing everything they had. The battleship began to break apart, and the crew erupted in cheers. They had done it, as the last of the enemy ships. Retreated, Alex turned to his crew, pride shining in his eyes. We did it. We showed them what humanity is made of. Lena smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment wash over her. They had faced their fears and emerged victorious. This was just the beginning. The galaxy was vast, and they had many. More battles ahead. The Endeavor had proven itself, and humanity was ready to take its place in the stars. The Endeavor floated in the aftermath of battle. The crew was exhausted but filled with a sense of victory. They had faced the Caldron fleet and emerged stronger than anyone had expected. The ship had taken damage, but they were still in one piece. In the command center, Alex looked at the damage reports. Some systems were down, and a few crew members were injured, but they had survived. He felt proud of his team. They had worked together and shown their strength. "Lena, what's the status of the ship?" he asked, turning to her. Lena was at her station, checking the readings. "We have some damaged systems, but nothing we can't fix. Everyone is tired, but we can make the repairs quickly." "Let's get to work," Alex said. "We need to be ready for whatever comes next." The crew moved quickly. They divided into teams to handle repairs and check on the injured. Alex made sure to support everyone, offering encouragement and praise for their hard work. He knew that morale was important, especially after a tough battle. As they worked, Lena gathered her team in the engineering bay. "Listen up, everyone. We did well out there, but we need to improve our systems. I want to enhance our shields and boost the weapon power. We can't let our guard down." The crew nodded, feeling the weight of the mission ahead. They began brainstorming ideas and making plans to upgrade the ship. They worked late into the night, fueled by determination and a desire to prove themselves. Meanwhile, Alex sat in the command center, reviewing the battle footage. He wanted to learn from their encounter with the cauldrons. He noticed how the enemy had reacted to their weapon. It had surprised them, giving the Endeavor an advantage. "Lena," he called after a while. "Come take a look at this." Lena joined him, and they watched the footage together. "See how they hesitated when we fired the energy beam? We have to use that to our advantage next time." Lena nodded, her mind racing with ideas. "If we can create a distraction, we can catch them off guard again. So maybe we can use smaller drones to draw their fire while we attack with the main ship." "I like it," Alex said. "Let's develop that plan. We'll need to be ready for anything." As the crew continued their work, news came in from the Galactic Council. They wanted to hold a meeting to discuss the recent battle and humanity's role in the Alliance. This was a chance for humanity to gain respect and show their capabilities. Alex called the crew together again. "We have an important meeting coming up with the Council. We need to prepare our presentation and showcase our victories." The crew felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. They knew that this was a chance to change how others viewed them. They gathered in the command center and began discussing what to include in their presentation. Lena suggested, "We should highlight our strategy and how we outsmarted the cauldrons. We need to show that our strength comes from our teamwork and innovation." Everyone agreed. They began working on a detailed plan for the presentation. They created graphics to show their battle tactics and the improvements they made to the Endeavor. It was a team effort, and everyone contributed their ideas. The day of the council meeting arrived. The crew was anxious as they prepared to present their findings. Alex stood in front of the team, trying to calm their nerves. "Remember, we are here to show our strength and unity. We have proven ourselves in battle, and we will continue to do so. Let's make humanity proud." With that, they entered the council chamber. The room was large and filled with representatives from different alien races. Some looked curious, while others appeared skeptical. Alex took a deep breath and stepped forward. "Honorable members of the council," he began. "Today, we stand before you as the crew of the Endeavor. We have faced the Cauldron fleet and shown that humanity is not to be underestimated." Lena stood beside him, ready to present the graphics they had prepared. "We used innovative tactics and teamwork to succeed. Our new weapon technology allowed us to strike with precision and power." As they shared their story, the room grew quieter. Alex and Lena spoke about their strategy, the challenges they faced, and the improvements they had made to the Endeavor. They showed footage of the battle, highlighting their successes. Some council members began to nod, impressed by what they saw. Alex could feel the shift in the room. They were starting to see humanity in a new light. After their presentation, a Cauldron representative named Thrax stood up. "You have done well, humans. But do not think this makes you equals. We will continue to test your strength." Alex felt a surge of anger, but held it back. "We welcome the challenge. We are ready to stand alongside our allies and face any threat." The council members began to discuss the implications of humanity's victory. They talked about how they could work together to strengthen their defenses against the Cauldron threat. The atmosphere in the room had changed. The humans were no longer seen as weak. As the meeting concluded, the crew of the Endeavor left the chamber feeling hopeful. They had made their mark and earned respect. They knew the fight was not over. Once back on the ship, Alex gathered everyone in the command center. "Great job today, everyone. Show them our capabilities, but we need to keep pushing forward. The cauldrons will not give up easily," Lena added. "Let's start implementing the upgrades we talked about. We need to be ready for the next encounter." The crew got to work, excited by the challenge ahead. They spent days improving the ship, enhancing their weapons, and fine-tuning their systems. The atmosphere on the Endeavor was filled with energy and determination. As they worked, they also took time to bond. They shared meals, told stories, and celebrated their victories. Each person felt like part of a family, united by a common goal. One night, after a long day of repairs, the crew gathered in the mess hall. They shared laughter and stories, remembering their journey together. Alex felt a sense of pride as he watched them. They had come a long way from the council's mocking laughter. Lena raised her glass. "To the Endeavor and to our crew, we have faced challenges and emerged stronger. Here's to many more victories ahead." The crew cheered, clinking their glasses together. They felt ready for whatever lay ahead. Humanity was proving its worth, and they were determined to protect their place in the galaxy as they prepared for their next mission. The crew knew they would face more battles, but they also knew they had each other, and together they were unstoppable. The stars awaited them, and they were ready to shine. The Endeavor was ready for its next mission.
Yes.
After their successful presentation to the council, the crew felt confident. They had made upgrades to the ship and learned a lot from their last battle. Alex, Lena, and the entire crew were determined to face the cauldrons again. One morning, as the crew gathered in the command center, Alex stood in front of them. "We have received new intelligence about the Cauldron fleet. They are regrouping, and we will encounter them soon. We need to be prepared for anything." Lena looked at the screens displaying the latest data. "We need to use our new drones as decoys. If we can draw their fire, we can strike their command ship when they are distracted." Alex nodded. "That's a good plan. Let's divide our team into two groups. One will pilot the drones, and the other will focus on the main weapons of the ship. Need to work together to make this successful." The crew quickly split into teams. They practiced their roles, focusing on communication and coordination. Each crew member knew that their job was vital to the mission. The atmosphere was charged with energy, and everyone was eager to prove themselves again. As they approached the Cauldron territory, the crew felt the tension rise. They were ready, but they also knew the risks. Alex stood at the front of the command center, looking at his crew. "Remember our training? We have faced them before, and we can do it again. Trust each other and stay focused. We will show them that humanity is strong." The Endeavor entered the heart of Cauldron space. The stars around them seemed to dim, and the crew felt the weight of their mission. Suddenly, alarms blared. The displays showed a large fleet of Cauldron ships approaching. "There they are," shouted one of the crew members. "They're coming in fast." "Battle stations," Alex commanded. "Prepare the drones and get the weapons ready." Lena activated the drone system, sending small ships out to the front. Drones are launched. They're on a collision course with the enemy. The drones sped ahead, drawing the attention of the Cauldron ships. Explosions lit up the space around them as the drones took fire. The crew of the Endeavor watched closely. Now, while they are distracted, Alex shouted, "Target the command ship." Lena worked quickly at her station, locking on, ready to fire. The crew felt the ship shudder as they fired the weapon. The energy beam shot out, striking the command ship directly. The force of the blast was immense, and the command ship erupted into flames. Direct hit. One of the crew members cheered, but the Cauldrons were quick to respond. They regrouped and returned fire on the Endeavor. The ship shook as blasts hit its shields. "Get us out of here," Alex yelled. "We need to maneuver." Lena adjusted the controls, guiding the ship through the chaos. "We can't let them pin us down. I'm boosting the engines." The Endeavor dodged enemy fire, weaving between the Cauldron ships. The crew worked in perfect sync, following Alex's commands. They launched more drones, creating confusion among the enemy ranks. "We need to target their smaller ships," Alex ordered. "They are trying to flank us." Lena activated the weapons again, firing at the smaller ships now. The energy beams shot out, hitting several Caldron ships. The crew felt a rush of excitement as they saw their plan working. The Caldron fleet was beginning to falter, but just as they felt they were gaining the upper hand, a massive Caldron battleship appeared from behind the asteroids. It was larger and more powerful than anything they had faced before. "Brace for impact," Alex shouted as the battleship fired its weapons. The Endeavour shook violently, and alarms blared throughout the ship. "Shields are down to 50%. A crew member reported. "Lena, can you get the shields back up?" Alex asked. "I'm on it," Lena replied, her fingers flying over the controls. "But it will take a few seconds." "Everyone hold steady," Alex commanded. "Yeah. Give up now." The battleship continued to fire, and the crew felt the pressure mounting. The Endeavour was taking heavy damage, but they refused to back down. "Focus fire on that battleship," Alex ordered. "We need to take it out." Lena targeted the battleship. "Adjusting the systems for maximum power. Ready to fire. Let's give it everything we've got." "Now," Alex shouted. The energy beam shot out, striking the battleship directly. For a moment it seemed like the blast had no effect, but then the ship began to shudder and smoke. "We hit it," crew member yelled, excitement in their voice. But the battleship was not finished. It returned fire with full force, and the Endeavour shook violently again. The crew struggled to stay on their feet as alarms blared around them. "Shields are failing," Lena cried out. "We need to retreat." "No," Alex said, determination in his voice. "We've come too far. We can't let them win. We need to find a way to finish this." Lena looked at the controls, her mind racing. "If we can get close enough to the battleship, we can use the energy beam again. It might just be enough to take it down." Alex nodded, a plan forming in his mind. "Let's do it. We'll make one final push." The crew sprang into action, working together to steer the ship towards the battleship. The Endeavour shook under enemy fire, but they pressed on. "Hold on," Alex shouted as they closed the distance. "Prepare to fire." Lena focused on her controls, ready to unleash their last weapon. "I'm locked on, ready when you are." They were almost there, and the battleship was firing relentlessly. The crew felt the heat of the blasts as they narrowly avoided destruction. "Now," Alex yelled, "fire." The beam shot out once more, striking the battleship with all the power they could muster. For a moment, there was silence, and then the battleship erupted in a massive explosion. Direct hit. The crew cheered, their voices filled with relief and excitement, but the victory was short-lived. The remaining Caldron ships began to retreat, regrouping for another attack. "Let's not let them escape," Alex shouted. "Follow them." "We need to finish this." The Endeavour surged forward, chasing the retreating enemy fleet. The crew felt the adrenaline pumping through their veins. They were not done yet. As they pursued the cauldrons, Lena worked on the ship's systems, ensuring they were ready for whatever came next. "We can't let them regroup. They will come back stronger if we give them a chance." The crew focused on their mission, determined to protect their place in the galaxy. They had proven themselves once, and they were ready to do it again. As the Endeavour closed in on the remaining Caldron ships, Alex felt a sense of purpose. They had fought hard, and now they were ready to show the galaxy what humanity could do. "Let's finish this," he commanded, and the crew rallied around him, ready for the final battle. The Endeavour raced through space, pursuing the remaining Caldron ships. The crew was filled with excitement and determination. They had already achieved a great victory, but they knew the fight was not over yet. Alex stood at the command center, his eyes fixed on the displays showing the fleeing enemy ships. "We can't let them escape," he said firmly. "If we do, they will regroup and come back stronger. We have to finish this." Lena was at her station, working quickly. "I'm boosting the engines for maximum speed. We need to catch up before they can make a jump to hyperspace." The ship surged forward, and the crew felt the power of their engines. They were gaining on the cauldrons, and hope filled the air. But the enemy was not going to give up without a fight. Look out, a crew member shouted, pointing at the screens. They're turning to face us. Alex could see the enemy ships shifting their formation. Prepare for battle, he ordered. Get the weapons ready and launch more drones for distraction. Lena activated the drones, sending them out to intercept the Cauldron ships. Drones are deployed. They should draw some of their fire. As the drones sped ahead, explosions lit up the darkness of space. The crew watched nervously, knowing that this was a dangerous moment. The drones took hits, but they were doing their job. The cauldrons were focused on the decoys. Now is our chance. Alex shouted, "Target their command ship and fire." Lena locked onto the Cauldron command ship. "I'm ready. Let's take them out." The energy beam shot from the Endeavor, striking the command ship. It exploded in a brilliant flash, and the crew cheered. The remaining Cauldron ships quickly regrouped and returned fire. "Shields down to 30%, crew member yelled. "Double quotes, Lena. Can you boost the shields?" Alex asked, trying to keep calm. "I'm working on it," she replied, her fingers moving quickly over the controls. "But we need to stay mobile to avoid their fire." The Endeavor swerved and dodged, but the enemy ships were relentless. They fired their weapons, trying to pin the Endeavor down.
Alex
Felt the ship shake as blasts hit around them. "We need to hit back harder," he called out. "Focus fire on the smaller ships. Can't let them overwhelm us." Lena adjusted the targeting system. Firing at the smaller ships now, crew worked in unison, firing at the enemy. The energy beam struck true, taking out several smaller Cauldron ships. The crew felt a surge of confidence as they saw their plan working. "Great job, everyone," Alex encouraged them. "Keep it up." But just as they seemed to gain the upper hand, a massive Cauldron battleship appeared from behind a nearby asteroid. It was heavily armed and ready for a fight. "Brace for impact," Alex shouted. "We need to get out of its line of fire." The battleship opened fire, and the Endeavor shook violently. Alarms blared, and crew members struggled to stay steady. "Shields are failing," Lena shouted. "We need to retreat." "No," Alex replied, his voice firm. "We can't back down now. No, we need to find a way to take that battleship out." Crew looked at each other, determination in their eyes. They had come too far to give up. They would fight until the end. "Lena, can we use the energy beam again?" Alex asked. "If we can get close enough, yes," she replied. "But we need to be careful. That battleship is dangerous." "Then let's create a diversion," Alex suggested. "We'll send in more drones to draw its fire while we get into position." Lena nodded. "I can do that. Let's go." The crew launched more drones, sending them towards the battleship. As the drones flew in, they exploded in a flurry of lights, drawing the battleship's attention. "Now," Alex shouted, "let's move in." The Endeavor surged forward, darting through the chaos. The crew held their breath as they closed the distance to the battleship. It was a risky maneuver, but they had to take the chance. "Get ready to fire," Alex commanded. Lena focused on the controls, her heart racing. "I'm locked on. Ready when you are. Now," Alex yelled. The energy beam shot out, hitting the battleship with all their power. The ship shook as the blast struck home. A moment it seemed like nothing happened. Then the battleship started to break apart, direct hit. The crew cheered, their voices filled with excitement. But the battleship was still firing back. It returned fire with everything it had, and the Endeavor shook again under the impact. "Shields are down to 10%. A crew member shouted, "Lena, we need to boost the shields," Alex urged. "I'm trying, but we can't take another hit," Lena replied, panic creeping into her voice. The crew focused on their tasks, determined to keep the ship intact. They fought hard, firing back at the battleship, while trying to avoid its heavy fire. "Push through," Alex shouted, his voice steady. "We can't let up now." With one final push, the crew targeted the battleship again. Lena worked quickly, adjusting the power levels. "I'm ready. Let's finish this." "Fire," Alex commanded. The energy beam shot out once more, striking the battleship directly. This time, the explosion was massive. The ship shattered into pieces, and the crew erupted in cheers. "We did it," someone shouted, excitement filling the command center. But Alex knew they weren't out of danger yet. The remaining Caldron ships were still attacking, trying to regroup. Stay alert. We need to finish off the rest of the fleet. The crew turned their attention to the remaining enemy ships. They focused their fire, determined to take out the last of the Caldrons. As they fought, Lena continued to monitor the ship's systems. Weapons are firing at full power. We can take them out. The Endeavor moved swiftly through the battlefield, dodging fire and returning shots. Crew worked together seamlessly, their training paying off. One by one, the Caldron ships fell. The crew felt a sense of triumph as they watched their enemies retreat. They had fought hard and shown that humanity could stand strong. Finally, the last Caldron ship turned and fled. The crew let out a cheer, celebrating their hard-fought victory. Alex looked around at his team, pride swelling in his chest. We did it? We showed the galaxy what humanity is capable of. We are not to be underestimated. The crew erupted in cheers, their spirits high. They had faced their fears and emerged victorious. As they caught their breath, Lena turned to Alex. What happens next? We will head back to the council and report our success. But more importantly, we will continue to build our strength. This is just the beginning for humanity. The crew nodded, knowing that they had proven themselves in battle. They were ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. As the Endeavor turned to head back to the council, the crew felt a sense of unity and purpose. They were no longer seen as weak. They had fought for their place in the galaxy, and together, they were unstoppable. The stars awaited them, and they were ready to shine.